Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is Dungeons of the Mad Mage, session 25. I was
Not
waiting
the
for
same.
the nut button, and then I remembered
not the same.
Zach is not at his home tonight, which is why he is not joining us on camera.
Oh, hi, don't
oh,
dox me.
don't dox me, bro. Hello, everybody.
Greetings.
We've already been talking for like 30 or 40 minutes though, because we've had technical difficulties. So let's just go ahead and jump into the thing and play some D&D. Previously, on Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party had happened upon a battle between a human warrior and a small party of Nothics led by a Mesoloth. They quickly came to the aid of the warrior and fought a fierce battle, primarily against the Mesoloth, which summoned a giant cloud of poisonous gas. Through perseverance, luck, and liberal use of magic missiles, the party managed to defeat the Mesoloth. In the aftermath of the battle, the party began to speak to the man that they had actually rescued. He was quite thankful for their aid, even offering them wine along with his gratitude. But as soon as his identity was revealed, the mood turned sour. For this man, this human warrior, was none other than Rex the Hammer, leader of the Fine Fellows of Daggerford, and the third individual responsible for the murder of Haleth Dark. The party questioned Rex, led primarily by Ashes, attempting to ascertain an admission of guilt or perhaps searching for some sign of regret. But it was not meant to be. Before Rex could come to understand the situation that he was in and potentially pose a threat, Ashes struck, stabbing Rex in the chest. The blow was mortal, but not fatal, and Rex gripped Ashes' blade with a gauntleted fist before Bones stepped forward and slit Rex's throat.
Murderers!
The whole ordeal was over in a flash. Ezrah, still reeling from witnessing the murder of the Shar priestess Midna, was struck speechless. Matashtai was filled with righteous fury. He had come to this place to prove himself worthy of being a hero to his people. This was not the path he had thought he would walk. Ashes and Bones, though, they saw the evil that had been done and the threat of more to come. The first real rift between our heroes has formed. The ethics and the ideals of what it is to be a hero, how best to serve, how best to protect. All of these questions were up in the air. The party rested. Heads cooled. At the end of the day, the party had been given a task. Find Halaster Blackcloak. Stop the shadow of madness from leaving Undermountain. That task seemed so far away. But here they were, in a dungeon, surrounded by death and danger. Whatever their personal beliefs, they would still need each other as long as they were here. And there was more dungeon to explore. Back the way they came lay the skeleton wall, a rickety makeshift barrier of questionable stability. Using Matashtai's magic rope, the party devised a way to climb up and over the skeleton wall without risking its collapse. This allowed them to continue exploring further without alerting everyone in the dungeon of their presence. However, Ashes was still by no means quiet. and the Nothics in the room ahead of them were well aware of the party. When the fight broke out, the weird cyclopean aberrations continuously used their mysterious necromantic power upon the party. A string of unfortunate luck saw Matashtai go down, but the battle was still in the party's favor, and Matashtai was healed shortly after. After resting again in the ruins of this dwarven barrack, Bones was able to pick the magic lock guarding the western doorway. From here, a brief journey south led the party to a short set of stairs and a hall where they found two red insectoid-looking creatures fighting over an iron helmet. The creatures were distracted at first. The dim light from Matashtai's drift globe and the smell of metal has drawn their attention. And it is at that point, I go ahead and swap the players back over to the second floor of Undermountain.
Back to another game of Where's Waldo?
Right?
Where's Waldo?
And we're gonna flip over to the Roll20 page real quick. And I think pretty much immediately,
Oh, man.
we're just gonna ask for everyone to select their tokens and roll some initiative.
I don't know where the fuck I am, and I can't move around.
Aha!
What part of the map am I on?
Don't worry, I'm also mapping up.
Bottom left.
No worries.
Bottom left.
Ish.
Trackpads are the fucking
Oh,
devil.
by the way,
If you
Matt updated his Blood Hunter, and as such, I've updated Ashes to fall in line.
So that is something we should talk about as a group, right? Matthew Mercer, the creator of the Blood Hunter class, has updated the class, and we had a little bit of a discussion over the past day or so, and Jay has updated the vast majority of things to do with the class that have been changed. So we're going to see a couple of changes here or there, etc. There is one big thing that we did keep the same, and Jay and I both talked about this. In the new revision of the Blood Hunter, when it comes to the Order of the Lycan, when they are shifted into their hybrid form, they no longer have vulnerability to silver weapons. They just
Hell yeah! Can I be a Lycan right now?
they just take normal damage, right? If they get hit with a silver weapon. Okay? Jay and I both thought that was a little lackluster considering the power that you get from the hybrid transformation and kind of the theming of it in its entirety period. So we kept the silver vulnerability while he is in his hybrid form for now, right? We'll juggle it. We'll see if that actually comes up to be a big deal or not, right? And if it is, then we'll make the appropriate change from there. Otherwise, I think honestly it'll be one of those things of it'll come up very rarely, and when it comes up, Jay will be like, "Oh shit!" and everyone will be like, "Oh shit!" and that'll be that, you know. It won't be a super big deal. It'll just be like, "Oh god,"
I think
you know.
that was literally the only thing that was changed.
That's the only thing that we really adjusted from the overall changes of Matt's update. So
cool. I'm excited to see it play.
yeah.
Oh, the other change was that we made. It wasn't. It was still in line with the update of the class, but since the DC saves for Blood Maledict was changed to int, and my character has shitty int,
we had
Jeremy
options.
Allowed me to swap out my curses.
Yeah.
With ones that don't require saves.
So we talked about it, and there was the option of swapping stats, right? Maybe swapping his wisdom to be an intelligence score instead, right? To reflect that if the character was originally created with this set of rules, it would have had these types of stats, that type of thing. Jay thought that it was maybe a little bit better of in line with the character, that instead of changing stats, instead of altering stats, we just alter the curses that he's using a little bit. And since, honestly, he had only really used one curse in the past, the Binding Curse, I believe, So he's changed to 2 new curses, so maybe we'll actually see those come out in the near future. So, fingers crossed. Alright, so, you guys see these little red creatures. Did I show them off to you guys yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? What is this?
Well, you showed us the floor art.
Guys, what's happening? I don't have this thing. Okay, I gotta look the actual handout up for you, because the link on the page for these things is not existent. Like, it's there where the link would be, but the actual link doesn't exist. So, un momento. Wait, is this the actual monsters? I don't want the monsters. I want the hands out. Handout. Creatures and monsters. Here we go. We've got these boyos. Yeah, so this is what you see in front of you. So, like I said, like these kind of red, feathery antennae, a carapace, and this kind of bony tail protrusion. So they see you, and do a roll real quick for them. Holy shit. Whichever one noticed you first, right, as you guys are still kind of like figuring out the situation, whichever one of them noticed you guys first is the one that just comes running forward.
Let it run forward. Little bitch.
Alright, and it is this one. So, this little...
Mad boy, sad.
Mad boy.
Mad boy.
This little thing, like, runs right up to the corner, right? And it parks itself right there at, like, the corner of the stairs, and these 2 antennae kind of, like flick through the air at you, right? Specifically kind of like at, not at bones, but more at ashes, right? And then beyond ashes to kind of like Matashtai and maybe a little bit to Ezrah. But it doesn't do anything with its turn at the moment, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, it seems to be waiting, right? It runs forward. Actually, hold up. It's got... Let me double check. Yeah, no, it's got really low intelligence. It's not smart enough to use real tactical advantage, so it's going to dash and try to get right up on top of Ashes immediately. And that means it is Bones' turn. So this thing, like, runs up to the corner. It does this, like, tentacle, like, antenna, like, flail through the air, and then it comes rushing down the stairs at Ashes. What do you want to do, Bones?
Alright. I want to put the dagger in my mouth. And I'm going to draw my double blade scimitar.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm going to double blade him with the scimitar. Hold on. Am I going to move behind him? I am going to move behind him. Please. Fucking computer. I hate you. 5, 10, no, 5, 50.
Okay.
10. Okay.
You rush around behind this insectoid creature.
Oh, yeah. Advantage. Double blading. Pew.
Alright.
Oh, yeah. One of them's a crit. I hope that first one misses. Did it miss or hit?
The first one does hit, actually.
Damn. Alright, well.
It doesn't really matter. These creatures are not overly hale or hardy. As soon as you crack into the carapace with your first attack, right? You hear this just like sickening crunch, right? Like you're snapping open crab legs or something like that. And your blade just like shunks into the thing, and it squeals like this horrid high-pitched squeal. And almost instinctually, the second blow is less of like a I'm fighting and more of like a oh god, shut it up type, like quick second stab, right, type thing. And it's dead, like it instantly, just like dead.
Sweet.
Okay. Anything else for your turn?
Here. Was the second blow actually necessary? Like,
yeah, the second blow was necessary. It wasn't quite done from the first blow.
Alright, then I will go.
Yeah, so the
over
first
here.
blow did 18, or no, the first blow did 20 damage, and they have 27 health. So the second blow absolutely was necessary.
Alright, then I go right here and I end my turn.
Okay. Ezra, at the top of the stairs, right? You see this. You
I'll
haven't
become the
seen
knight.
any of these things yet, but you see this little red creature like rush up, and it flings its antenna about, and then it closes with ashes, and like a shadow, Bones just slips around behind it and slams into its carapace, cracking it open, and the thing just dies there on the stairs. But you can hear another one chittering off in the distance behind it. What do you want to do? So Ezra comes forward.
I will hold a chill touch unless I see.
Okay,
until
sure.
I see one of those beasties.
Absolutely. Bones, do you have anything metal on your person that is not in your bag of holding?
Not in my bag of holding.
Does it matter if it's magical or not?
Doesn't matter if it's magical or not. Well,
yeah,
it does
I got my
matter if
fucking
it's
knife.
magical or not. They just don't necessarily stipulate.
Oh yeah, I got my fucking calcium supplement.
Your calcium supplement? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
my skinning knife, my
Oh, you
boning
take a
knife.
straight-
Oh, yeah, then absolutely. Okay. So, well, I say that. Who is closer? Ashes is right there. No, technically Ashes is still a little closer.
Well,
So-
I mean, there's a corner of the wall he
I
has to go
assume I got
around.
like a belt buckle. I don't know.
That is true. So he would have to go here, here, here versus okay, so that's 45 versus it's the same distance. All right, I'm going to 1d2 you guys. Ashes is 1,
Yeah, okay.
Bones is 2.
Okay.
Okay, we go to Ashes. This thing literally scrabbles. It comes forward and it scrabbles over the corpse of its previous companion, ally. You're not sure.
I don't think that's how that works.
They were fighting with each other previous to this, but this thing seems so intent on getting at you that it does not seem to care about the creature that it is crawling over. Unfortunately for it, though, it only has 40 feet of movement, so it does take a dash action to get to you, which means Matashtai, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna run over here, and I'm gonna commence the puncher in.
Okay.
Punch!
Punch! The Matashtai, you step forward and punch, and
I just go into a flurry of punches right into the back of the shell.
crack! Right? Shell splinters.
Punch 2.
Another splinter.
Punch 3. Unlikely to hit.
Unlikely. You hit, right? But you actually catch one of those edges that you've already splintered, so you actually like graze across your knuckles, right? You do like that little like skin your knuckles type thing off of the sharpened edge.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and Ezra throws in a chill touch for good measure as this is happening. Fair enough. Yep. Anything else for your turn?
Nope.
Okay. So this thing is pretty brutally wounded after the barrage of punches, which did 11 damage, and the chill touch, which does another 11 damage. This thing,
Well,
these are scavenger creatures, right? They're not overly tough. Ashes, as this thing stares you down, you realize it realizes, right? You realize that it realizes that it is in a bad situation, and it's suddenly like it's flinging its head back and forth, right? It's got this little head that pokes out of its shell, right? It's looking back and forth, right? Like looking for an escape route. What do you do?
All right, I'm not going to utilize this, but I thought I'd ask this anyways. I'm sure we've talked about this before, but my memory is completely shit. Because of the changes, hybrid transformation went from being an action to a bonus action.
Okay.
And we've decided that, or it is as written that you can't sacrifice, or you can't use a bonus action in lieu of your regular action and still have a bonus action, correct?
Oh, that is to say, like, you
Like,
transform
can you go
with
bonus
your
action,
action.
bonus action instead of action bonus action.
Oh, see, this is one of those things of we're trying to be by the rules. We've had this discussion a few times.
What is rule?
So rules are you cannot rules are you're not a bonus action is a bonus action, an action is an action, right? If it says you use a bonus action, you can't use an action to do the bonus action.
Then that
right?
is
Those are rules. I think that's stupid because bonus action is literally a holdover from previous editions. The concept of like a quick action, right? And that is literally just something that is faster to do than a normal action. So if you can do something faster with a bonus action, why wouldn't you also be able to do that if you used your action for it? That has always been my outlook.
I can't ever remember.
And that's normally how I run it in the homebrew scenario. I think in this particular situation, we are trying to stay more true to form on rules. I will say, though...
That's fine.
Here's the thing, though. As we play more and more and more of this Dungeon the Mad Mage campaign, I am going to bend those rules more and more and more because it's going to frustrate the shit out of me, the stupid stuff that happens.
All right, one of the reasons why I'm asking is because I just saw how much of my shit is bonus actions. Searing Smite, Branding Smite, Blood Maledict, Hybrid Transformation.
Yeah.
All this shit, bonus actions.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Absolutely.
Which means I'm just going to have to, like, partition shit out a little bit better.
I think in this instance, we want to try to err on the side of caution with the rules. If we play for a while and we find that that is constricting, then we might take a second look at it. And another thing that we might do is we might look at the overall longevity of the campaign in kind of like segments. We might get to a point here in another 20 episodes where I'm like, hey guys, let's talk about some of the changes that we have made over the last 40 episodes, right? And let's talk about some of the changes we didn't make, and should we revisit those in fairness, right? That type of thing.
I mean, you're already bending for us anyways with being able to drink a potion as a BA. So.
Well, sure, yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't want it to be like, oh, well, Jeremy bended this rule for Jake, but he didn't bend this rule for Jay, so, you know, that type of thing.
I'm not going to get bent about that.
Well, no, I don't expect anyone to get bent about it, but I do expect us to revisit things later on down the road. So for now, let's go with the concept of bonus actions as bonus actions, actions as actions, and if at a later date we find that that is too restricting, we will revisit that as a concept.
All right, cool. I underhand my sword and plunge it two-handed into the carapace.
You do not.
At
least not on this first
strike. I
strike.
my sword, I re-grip it and try again.
I try again.
This is not my night.
You do not. Wow. Yeah, so you keep smacking this thing, thinking it's surely it's going to go down, but it's actually got a very tough exoskeleton, and each of your blows just kind of like rebounds off of it. It's almost as if you're like you're not wanting to kill the creature, or you're not putting your all into it. Anything else for your turn?
That'll be in turn.
All right, this rust monster is dead. Bones, you're up.
Oh man.
Man.
I'm gonna cut it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Cut that man.
Oh, what? Why am I on speaker now?
Wow, Ashes, you missed it both times. Impressive.
He did. Yep.
Okay, where's my character?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. I move in. Unfortunately, I can't get any kind of
Advantage.
because someone Ashes is inconsiderate. So I'll just do normal. Oh, that's good.
Well, the second one definitely hits. Roll your confirm critical first.
Roll 1d20.
All right, you're definitely fine, and the second attack does hit and kills the creature outright. So, in
'Cause I'm a god.
in just a matter of moments, right? Not even a full 2 turns of combat, the 2 rust monsters, and they're actually like on top of each other. The 2 rust monsters are dispatched, right? For a few moments after their deaths, their antenna kind of like continue to twitch and wiggle out towards primarily Ashes, because he's got the most metal upon him.
Probably.
But the 2 creatures are dispatched. They're easily dealt with. And then the area falls quiet, I say, as I look towards something in a momento. Let me double check.
I
this.
say as something begins to move towards the noise that
Well,
was made.
I've gotta double check something else.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Oh man, while he's gone, I'm still waiting for him to try to carve the the tails off the rust monster. Try and make a mace out of it that can rust metal.
Ooh, very interesting.
Oh, that'd
that
be dope.
Right?
is gonna be back. I realize he meant back.
Well, I think it's the antennas then.
Yeah, that's
So he's
that is
so
the
if he
wrong-
made like a whip out of it.
also the wrong setup.
I don't think that would be a very solid whip per se.
You don't know.
Because you gotta
those
imagine.
were-
Okay, okay. How about he
they're
makes some
succoid,
arrows
right?
out of it?
You know what happens when insects die? They become brittle.
They become sure.
Brittle.
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 Okay. I think I don't know that we had
Doesn't
made this
matter what I
determination,
say.
but I'm going to make this determination now.
As long as I
What determination? What are you determining?
It is something that I can't tell you about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good
Sorry.
determination. Alright.
Momento.
I would like to roll insight to determine what he's determining.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, roll it.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Yeah. Holding on.
I offer Zach my DM inspiration.
21.
You think for a moment what maybe the gods are thinking about, and you have no idea. History to you.
And then he left.
And then he, oh no. Okay, I can't keep flipping. Unfortunate.
He keeping you busy.
He is keeping me busy. I might have to like take a moment and fix the, because everyone's out of position. Fix the Zach cam real quick.
Doesn't matter what I
Do
say.
this. Jay comes over here. Mitch. Ooh, no. Mitch. Oh, nope, he's back. Damn it, Zach. No, you're fine. It's. I would prefer you come back, but I keep every time you leave, I keep jumping over and trying to like update the old no Zach cameras, to compensate. But then you come back in, and then then it's all like switched again. So,
If I have to use my fucking...
check uncheck.
huh?
I have
That
to
yeah.
use
So
my
I had
fucking cell
scenes,
phone,
but
otherwise it's fucking garbage.
remember like 2 or 3 sessions ago where it did the whole like completely swapped everyone's cameras for some reason. So
No.
it hasn't been fixed because we haven't had anyone missing. It hasn't been fixed since then. So that's what I was doing while. Anyways, so the rust monsters are dealt with. Guys gain 150 experience for the hungry rust monsters. That was the name of this room, actually.
No pun.
Nope, no pun. Just hungry rust
Hungry
monsters.
rust monsters.
All right, I take a second. I listen. Do I hear anything?
There's the faint like breathing right of your allies as they kind of like they look and they like you have like a hand up right and quiet. And there's that. There's like it's like the breath of the dungeon, right? There's not a breeze down here necessarily, but there's this kind of like ebb and flow of air that cause it to sound like the dungeon is just
That's weird. I go around the corner and see what they were munching on.
okay. So you come out into this room, and in the center of this room, next to where the rust monsters had been standing, is this iron, what might have once been iron helmet. It's pockmarked, right? It's got these. It's like someone dumped a vat of acid on it. It looks like these two creatures. Actually, like everyone, roll me a nature or history check. Everybody, roll me a nature or history. Because these things are kind of like trolls. They're popular enough, like they're known enough to be in folklore all over the world of Faerun, right? But there's also still the chance that you're kind of like you've maybe heard of them, but you haven't heard enough of them to recognize them on the spot. Which is the case for Ashes and for Matashtai. Ashes and Matashtai do not identify these creatures just by like sight alone. But Ezrah and Bones, you're both able to kind of like, yeah, these things are rust monsters. They eat metal, basically. Their antenna will dissolve metal, and they'll kind of like they'll lap up the ashes or the pooled kind of like liquid corrosion that kind of comes off of it, right? And this helmet looks like it's gotten a little bit of that treatment, like it's gotten a little bit of the touch of the rust monster, but it doesn't. It was still to the point to where there was enough of it for the two to fight over, right?
Ugh. That's cool.
Aside from that, around the room, right, there are several. I think I described this earlier, and it's easy to see in the image, right? If we go back to that, there are empty iron torch brackets up on the wall, but they're high enough that they're just out of the reach of these rust monsters. You can see scratch marks kind of like up on the wall underneath most of these iron brackets, like they were standing and clawing at it, trying to get up to it. You know, that type of thing. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot going on in this hall, which is a little odd. This is a rather large space for the fact that there's nothing going on here.
Damn, weird shit. Check for doors. I've checked secrets.
So there, so there's the obvious door to the west, right?
Nah, secret check.
Okay, so secret doors. Are you using your passive?
No, I'm gonna actively look.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me an active perception check then.
Active. 28.
Oh ho ho ho!
This is fucking weird. I look.
You look.
I open my special eyes.
And there are no secret doors in this area. Actually. You spend a few moments kind of like tracing the outer wall of this room. Is certain, right, that there is some sort of secret here. But there doesn't appear to be.
Alright, boys, this here is clean.
We did leave a bunch of doors behind us.
Yeah, but there was a door in front of us.
Ashes and Ezra, for whatever reason, you both kind of know with a certainty that Bones is correct. There is no secret.
All right. Do we want to keep going or?
Was a weird thing to emphasize. Is there something obvious?
Entirely sure how I feel about that.
Whatever, fuck it, I go to the door. Hello, door. How are you? Oh, I'm in a wall. Alright, I'm out of the wall.
Greetings, door.
Okay. So, there were
Oh,
the
now you're in
doors
the
that
wall.
you guys had skipped on your way down south. You guys want to come to this door first?
I don't recall anything about that.
Oh, we did.
If you
walk past the
open
door
your
back
map, if we
Okay, I'm on a laptop, Jeremy. It's
if we
very difficult.
reference our handy dandy player handout map,
It's extremely small. Yes, fuck those doors.
there are 3 doors that you
They're
guys
the devil.
passed up on your way down to the south. Just a jaunt down the hall that you guys came. But if you guys would like to skip them from now, absolutely, you can continue
You go
westwards.
until you hit a dead end, and then you go back. That's the rule.
Sure, by all means. All right, so Bones, I think a critical success on your previous perception is good enough to carry over into the next particular situation.
Sweet. Critical door success. Check.
So while looking at
Check.
this door, you find it is a carved, ornate stonework dwarven door. Right, you're beginning to have seen the like pretty frequently throughout the dungeon so far. It is one of those kind of when it is shut tight, it creates that kind of airtight seal, right?
Yeah.
And other than the fact that it actually has a handle on it, it's almost seamless, right? So, but it does not appear to be locked. Does not appear to be trapped, right? Be ripe and ready for the exploring. What do you
Sweet.
do?
I whip that
Yes.
motherfucker open.
He whips that mamma jamma.
And then I nay.
He whips and then he nays. All right, so you throw the door open and you see before you a long hall. Right? If we actually pop over to your character, you actually see a long hall going westward, right? But you see going north, about 20 feet down the hall, you see another section, like another hallway, going northwards. And out from where you're at, right? Out of this northern hall, you see like mist. It's just the smallest like
That seems.
coming from
Damn,
that
it's
hallway.
like something's breathing over there.
Perhaps.
That's weird. I enter the night
Okay.
and I look at Ashes and I say, I just made the motion to stay put, but you can't see me.
Okay. So Ash's Bones like gives you the hand.
Vision?
Okay.
I enter the night and I go. Psh, psh, psh.
And Bones, are you actually rolling stealth or are you using passive?
Oh, I guess I should roll that. At advantage.
Yep. Probably should.
Passive still. 28.
28. All right. So you guys see Bones kind of crouch low and step forward. And the further he gets away, specifically, right, again, Matashtai has the drift globe out. So there's only so much that can be done in light.
What if I'm around the corner like this?
Sure. Absolutely. So, but it still kind of like reaches around the corner. It goes a little ways. So it's not that you're alerting anyone. It's more that like Bones is still visible to most of you up until that point to where he kind of like hits the edge of Matashtai's light radius, and then as soon as he hits that edge, he kind of just goes, and it's like he's not even there. Bones, you come up to this corner, and immediately you realize this is not mist. Or it is, rather, but that's not the important thing about it. What it is it is frost on the air. And it's just so and the way you know that, right, is as you come up to this corner, it is significantly colder in the last 5 feet than it is the last 20 feet. Okay? So you come up to this corner and it is suddenly icy, and you realize this kind of like little mist is this frost on the air reaching a point to where it is warm enough that it melts and turns into a mist in the air. Because as you kind of like turn down this frozen icy hall and you look north, you literally see like snowflakes dancing down the hallway.
Snowflakes, got it. All right, I'm gonna run just down here real fast, just quick check, and then I'm gonna come back.
Okay. Couple things. Let's check what you see when you get here. So to the south of you, you see 2 rooms, right? You see a room to the south of you, and you see a room through a short hall open up to the north of you. Okay? To the south of you, you see a very cluttered room. There's shit everywhere. It looks like a garbage dump, right? There are narrow paths winding between scattered piles of broken furniture and literal garbage. There are 2 iron chandeliers. One is anchored about 20 feet up onto the ceiling, right?
Okay, but I don't want to make you redo this twice. Do I see anything dangerous? Hello?
No, you don't see anything
Okay.
dangerous per se.
There's no overt monsters. I go back and get everybody else.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so we're saving the description for everyone coming to the corner. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm like, hey guys, it's like super cold up there, and there's trash.
There's trash.
What do you mean trash?
I already left.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay. So, Bones comes back, reports, heads back the way he came. Ashes follows suit. Matashtai, Ezrah.
Yep, coming.
All right.
Damn.
And
This
each
is
of you,
cold
right,
as
as you
well.
cross in front of this hallway that heads north, each of you gets kind of hit with this shock of frost, right? Like you're just like chilled to the bone, and you look northwards, and you literally see snow kind of flurrying through the hallway. And the
creepy.
further north it goes, the worse it seems to get.
Kind of worried about leaving that behind us, but
Do I get I stop at the hallway.
Sure.
Do I get a sense that this is? I mean, we're in the arcane chambers, so I'm going to assume this is some sort of enchantment that's creating this magical weather. But to test it, I'm going to use my Storm's Guide ability.
I was gonna say, is there a question or an action in that statement? Because I want to help you, but okay.
So I can subtly control the weather.
All
In a
right.
20-foot radius around.
Action. Okay, so subtly control the weather. If it is raining, you can cause the action to the rain to stop around you, kind of like create a protective dome. If it's windy, You can kind of like deflect the wind or push it in a different direction, that type of thing.
Can I use it to try and move
Yeah.
warm weather in to see if I'm able to?
What if it's
Oh,
not
okay. So you're wanting to try to actively see if you can counteract what is going on here, like pull some of the warm drafts from the halls
Airbending?
behind you,
Like
and
they-
then kind of like push it up against. So I think what actually happens, right, is an interesting and purely flavorful effect. Let's get that straight, okay? But Ezrah creates like a very for a brief moment, right? As Ezrah kind of like tries to bend reality to his whim, utilizing his unique heritage. He comes up against whatever this enchantment is, and as he kind of like pushes the warm weather into this horrendously cold hallway, he creates a localized tropical storm. No, I mean that. I mean
Like a
that
warm
literally,
front
right?
moving
Like
in?
you pull in like 10, 15, like if we're talking about like cubic feet of warmer air, and you try to like shove it up into this cold hallway. It does create this kind of like almost whirlwind flurry of snow and warm air, and suddenly it starts to kind of like rain in a little like 5x5 square, right? As all of this kind of like it tries to science where it's magic, right? And it all kind of like collapses. And as you watch it, you realize like, this is bad stuff. This is magic conflicting with nature, and you see a small, ever so tiny kind of like rent of wild magic, right? And the whole thing, like it's spinning, it's all of a sudden spinning and swirling, and there's ice and rain everywhere in front of you. And then the whole thing just kind of like, and it just kind of like poof, disappears. And then a few moments later, that intense cold starts to kind of like back down from the hallway towards you.
So I did not see the source of the cold.
No, absolutely not. Whatever it is still way to the north of you, down this hallway.
I speak into Ezra's mind and I say, "What you doing?"
Oh, hi. I'm trying to figure out what this is. I don't want us to be trapped. So
Did you figure out what it is?
I'm still working on that. Please hold.
All
There's a hallway 60 70 feet north.
I mean,
about
I
how
would like to ask
far...
the DM if this is just flavor or anything, but with my infernal heritage and the infernal constitution, which gives me resistance to cold damage, would I be able to brave the cold without taking?
Do you have resistance to cold damage? Oh, because you're not a normal. I say normal. You're not your typical tiefling. You're not your player's handbook tiefling. You are a
Zariel tiefling that's in
special.
yeah. You are a breed apart tiefling. Okay.
Is Zariel not vanilla?
She's not. No,
Asmodeus is the...
Yeah, that's player's handbook is just your base fire resistance, basically.
Okay.
Right? It's your
Gotcha.
what you would typically think of a devil having. But
Right.
I would say so yes, yeah, your ice resistance definitely affords you some sort of resilience towards cold weather effects, right?
Can I ascertain how far in before the magic started pushing that?
Not very
Did it
far.
seem like it hit a wall? Or
No,
did
it definitely
just-
didn't hit a wall. This seemed, to your knowledge, right? This seemed like a weird mix of magic and nature, right? Your magic versus its magic versus how natural forces tend to interact with each other. This is a very kind of like a weird one of those like kind of science experiments that kooks go on about, right?
I take offense to that.
But it's so it was just maybe like 10-15 feet down the hall that it started to get really intense.
I would then summon my mage hand and send it to 30 feet to see if anything happens.
Floats down the hall without any issue.
I'm gonna have it like flap around wildly like a.
So it smacks a couple of like snowflakes out of the air, right? But other than that, doesn't seem to have any conflicts. It is now known as the scourge of all kind to snowflakedom.
Write that down. It's important.
Put it.
As it's
Sport.
dripping this purple ichor off of it.
Yep.
I think I might be able to risk it, guys. I'll turn around if things get rough.
Okay.
And we'll start walking down the hall.
Okay. So go ahead and keep walking until I tell you to stop, or until someone else decides that they want to do something.
Nervous for him. Do.
So you guys watch as Ashes just keeps walking further and down the hall, and as he gets further away, right, it gets like Matashtai's light is there, right, kind of this beacon in the darkness. But as he gets further and further away, it gets harder to see him in these snow flurries, right?
It's concerning.
Okay. It's at this point, right, that you guys can barely see Ashes at all. Now, Ashes, right, you're walking forward, you're walking into this cold climate, but as you walk,
Cloak around.
it just feels like winter, honestly. Like, it feels cold outside, but you've never been overly bothered by the winter climate, you know?
Right.
It's
Camped out before. It's fun.
it's never affected you like maybe it did others of the order, right? You've always had a little bit better handle on the cold weather than, you know, say
Cold
your
never bothered me anyway.
so maybe a little bit better handle on it than your tutors or some of your brethren. That being said, you are not unaware of cold, and you begin to realize that it is quite blisteringly cold here. Absolutely. And it seems to get colder by the step. You're not quite to that that this is an issue. You're just kind of like at the point of this is a wintry, snowy day.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Is the wind that's picked? Is there like wind picking up or anything?
There's
like,
only a
can
light
guys hear
breeze,
me?
honestly. It's just kind of like a flurry of the snow. It seems more, if anything, the flurry of snow itself seems to be. It seems to be more magical. It doesn't seem to be carried by an actual force of wind. There is a light breeze, but nothing more. So yeah, you can absolutely call back to your allies without any real issue.
It's okay so far, up to this point. And
Why does Casey look like she's gonna go rob someplace?
She does look like she's about to rob something.
Okay.
Is she wearing like a beanie that has?
She looks like, yeah,
holes for
she
her
absolutely is
pigtails?
wearing a beanie she could like pull down over her face.
I like that a lot.
Like 100%. Your hands are like warm, woman. Holy crap.
Yeah, warm with the heat of thievery.
All right,
About to steal.
I'll
Let's get
keep
excited.
and then until something.
Okay.
She's about to steal this election. It's very likely, just so you guys know, my phone is gonna die.
Okay.
And I've tried everything I can to make it not die, and my internet is not good enough to use Discord on my computer. So I'm doing what I can.
Okay. Well, if your phone does die, we'll take a brief break and we'll get everything situated again, and then we will go from there. And if you can rejoin us at a later date, great. If you cannot rejoin us, we will see you next time, okay?
Sound good.
Sounds great. All right, so Ashes continues to kind of like push his way down the hallway until at about this point, Ashes, you can see north of you, right, through the flurries of snow, you can see a door. And at this point, it's still about 60 feet away. So, it's pretty far down the hall comparatively. If you are about 60 feet away from your friends and it's about 60 feet away from you, that means this is a pretty long hallway. And the snow thickens as it gets towards the door.
Well, unless there's anything impeding me, I'm going to go ahead and just make my way to the door to verify that the hallway will be in fact safe for my allies.
As you you push in, right? You keep going all the way to the door. As you get kind of like those last 20 or 30 feet, you are fighting bitter elements.
Uh-oh.
This is the Sword Coast in the worst of winter, right? This is bad shit. Like this is like some Blizzard level stuff. Hello, Odie.
It's some bad shit.
Not my microphone. Duh. So you are being resistant to the cold. You have a bit of a leg up. Your allies are not dressed for this weather necessarily. They will probably, you can ascertain, right? They will probably be fine for a short amount of time, but any overly long exposure could prove to be an issue.
There might be some D6s rolled.
Yeah.
We got to go shopping in cold weather gear.
So,
you know what? I just want to get to this door. I just want to see if I can't.
Absolutely.
Get to this door. I'm gonna go ahead and push to it.
Head right to it. So you come up to this door, and it's a door. I mean, it's so the walls here, the door itself, they're kind of lined with frost. You can see this just it's kind of like icicles formed across the edge of things,
and like try to clean it off. And
yeah. Kind of like wipe it away, right? The door does not appear to be locked or anything like that. It's not barred. You want to just open it?
I want to crack it to see if, like, just pushing a little, like, there's just, like, this huge torrent of wind pressure or something.
So you push it, and there is a bit of resistance. Yeah, there is. It's kind of like that seal that seems to, like, have been on some of these dwarven doors, right? That airtight seal. So there's kind of, like, that resistance to it. I don't know what that was. Zach, what's happening?
Did you hear that when you stopped talking?
I just absolutely assumed that was you.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay.
I was opening the giant shade on my window.
Of course you were. Of course you were. You behave. All right.
Hold on, I'm closing it. I'm not making sound of you.
The wonderful
quality content. Make sure you follow TDH.
Ain't no one fucking watching. It's Jacob.
More of this.
So, Ashes, you're at the store, right? And you go to push it open, and there's a little bit of resistance for a moment, and then that resistance gives, and the door kind of swings open. And almost immediately, you are hit by this blast of freezing air, right? Just this swirl of ice and snow, like you just stepped into a blizzard. The room beyond, right? As you open this door, let me actually show you real quick. The room beyond is bitterly cold. It's 10, 20, 30, 40. It's beyond the scale of just like, oh, this is snowy weather. This is a freezer, right? This is a
Right.
And you see, right, like you're immediately you're taken aback with like this burst of cold wind hits you, this ice and snow hits you, and then you're looking through and you're trying to like figure out what's going on here. And you see that the walls of this room kind of like rise at an angle, right? Almost as if they're forming a pyramid of open space, right?
Mhm.
And it goes 30, 40 feet up to the apex. And on the north wall, right, the wall that you were facing, you see this faint blue light glowing in this kind of sloped pyramidal wall. And it's this massive rune carved into the wall, and it's just glowing blue light. What languages do you speak?
Common, Infernal, Goblin, and Orc.
You have no idea what this is. What this says.
Cool. I am going to grab the handle of the door and close it back.
And almost immediately, right? It's cold here. But you realize for the few brief moments that you had that door, how incredibly freezing it was.
And, all right. I'm going to go back to my allies.
Okay. So a few...
I'm assuming there's nothing going to impede me.
Yeah,
from
no.
doing so.
A few moments pass, right? As Ashes moves out of sight, and then
Break an icicle off one of my horns.
you all hear this kind of like hurried stepping as he kind of like comes back. and then he's there.
So it leads to a room that has these slopes, goes up to the back of the room. There's some writing up there. There's some blue glowing shit. Super fucking magical, but I think we're gonna have to come back better suited for the elements because, boys, it's cold.
What did the writing say?
I cannot read it.
I will say
one of the
this.
characters kinda
Roll
like
me,
this.
roll me an intelligence check.
Yay, we're starting our intelligence checks.
What did it look like? Draw us one of the letters.
You cannot read it, but you've seen enough of it in this place to identify it as Dwarven.
Yo,
So it's like being able to recognize katakana characters and be like, oh, hey, that's Japanese.
Exactly, right? You have no idea what it says, but you've seen enough of it that you're like, yeah, that's Dwarven.
Okay,
Yeah, fuck you, Jake. I speak dwarf. You don't, you little bitch.
Well,
you little bitch.
I like if I could probably help you get to that room, but bro, it's like so cold.
I'm
It's
not
like-
going down there. I'm ridiculously cold right here. Ezra, light me on fire.
I would say if
I
you were
press
wanting,
fire around his head.
if you were wanting to maybe try to draw the rune that you saw from memory, try to do that.
Sure. In fact, I'll kind of walk into the hall a little bit where frost starts to build up on the walls, and I'll just like draw some shit out in the frost.
Damn,
Roll
with
me-
your prehensile tail though.
Roll me a
With my
performance
crystal
check.
Performance.
At disadvantage because tail.
Nope, not gonna need it.
Nope. Between the fact that it's written in ice and Ash's artistic ability is less
15.
than at this particular moment, you can't make heads or tails of what he is showing you, Bones.
What is that? Is that
It's-
Aquan?
all
What are you
the- all
doing?
the-
I don't know what you're drawing.
just what I said. There was a lot of wind and snow in my eyes. I couldn't see it.
This is the one time Aquan would have been interesting.
That's definitely not Aquan, by the way. I know that one.
Well,
Bitch, you know Aquan?
It's primordial language.
No. Aquan is a specific language. It is not. No, you're not going to bastardize Gad like that. Either it is
What it
separate
is.
or it does not exist.
That's what it is, buddy.
No, it's not. You're a liar.
I really am not.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
It specifically says on portals they speak Aquan.
I understand that.
Good.
Wow. Zach got up in arms real quick.
My
Knowing-
heart is breaking.
Knowing primordial is like knowing Latin, right? Knowing
Aquan is a Ebonics?
Aquan is knowing Spanish.
No.
It's like knowing Pig Latin.
They are absolutely two different languages, but one is derivative of the other.
No. I refuse to acknowledge this.
I'm pretty much supporting your cause. Just saying.
And I acknowledge it completely and totally.
You asshat.
Whatever leads to me being right, I acknowledge.
Of course. Why am I surprised? Okay, regardless, though, we're going off on a tangent. Ashes has explored down this hallway, this bitterly cold hallway, has seen this room, this rune. At the current state, no one can make heads or tails of it. Do you guys wish to explore this further, or are we leaving this for now?
oh, he gone.
He gone. He accepted
He
his
gone.
victory, and he left. Move back over to this one.
I will note that I have, I can take the cold real well, but I don't know if you guys are gonna make it.
Yeah, I've got sleeveless. I got a sleeveless vest on and slippers. I'm gonna pass.
Mitch is over here in this sleeveless stuff.
And Ashes is generally covered from
That's pretty funny.
like neck down, completely
Ooh.
covered.
Back. Okie dokie.
Do we want to
Alright,
just take a
Jeremy,
quick break so you can fix your stuff?
I've already got. Well, yeah. Actually, let's take a quick break. I'm not gonna flip over to the AFK real quick because I need to actually fix a few stuff because this is only gonna take me a few seconds. So everyone else can disperse for a few minutes. I'm gonna fix this and then I will switch over to the AFK. So we will see everyone back in a few minutes after I fix the overlays. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Sounds
ahead, guys.
good.
Oh, Jake's actually.
Good.
Oh, no one's actually leaving, huh?
Well, I'll step away in just a
I was
second.
gonna say that makes it a little more awkward.
I already took my pee break before we
There,
started
Mitch
streaming, so
there.
I'm probably gonna be good.
Zach's there.
Do what you do.
Jake is there. Zach is. Mitch is. And fixed, actually. Done. I've got everything. Everyone in the right positions. Let's check real quick. Holy Cams, no Zach. We got Jay, Jake, Zach, and Mitch in the right spots. Roll 20, no Zach. We've got me, Jay, Jake, Zach, and Mitch in the right spot. And Cams plus roll, no Zach. We've got Jay, Jake, Zach, and Mitch. Perfect. All right, so we've got the overlay for that fix. I'm going to go ahead and kick this over to the AFK for a moment because I do need to take a potty break, and we'll be right back. Hello, everybody. We're back from break. We are sans Zach at the moment. He is trying to figure his situation out. If he makes it back tonight, great. If he does not, okay. So, you guys are at the base of this long, wintry hallway, right? It's been ascertained that we can't quite figure out what the room beyond is for, what the rune carved into the northern wall is. And since Zach is the one that speaks, or Bones is the one who speaks Dwarvish, and Zach is not here, I think it's probably likely that we just move on from this scenario, at least for now.
DOI note on that one.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. So, where would you guys like to head from there? I think I can speak for Zach easily and say that he would come right over to this corner, and there we go. So, if that is what's happening,
linger a little bit just to make sure nothing follows Ashes.
Sure. There is this
elemental
moment, right?
Ice method.
And correct me if you feel otherwise, but I kind of imagine Ezrah to be a little bit paranoid, right? So there's definitely this moment, right, where the ice is swirling off at the field of your vision, right? And it looks for a moment like the ice coalesced into something that is stepping forward before, after like a few heartbeats, right, it swirls off into just snowflakes.
Yeah, he's got some anxiety issues.
Sure. I mean, that's fair. Alright, in this room to the south and in this room to the north, I'm going to describe the room to the south first, right? The room here is cluttered. There are narrow paths winding between scattered piles of broken furniture and garbage. 2 iron chandeliers, once anchored to the 20-foot high ceiling, have fallen, their ropes cut clean. One has crashed into a pile of debris. Pinned beneath the other chandelier. We're back to this. I forgot. Oh, actually, I should be able to do this here. I will show you. This is one of the things. I thought I had fixed all of these, but every time we play again, I'm like, nope. So, this is one of the things that they did not do. With the that I decided to do that they did not do. So what you guys see here is pinned beneath other chandelier, right, is the withered husk of a giant spider.
Like a normal giant spider, or a...
That's a big scary.
No, I mean like a giant spider. It looks like like in some grand, like escapade, the chandelier was dropped atop a 10 by 10 spider and it croaked under the weight.
What,
Any other
I
signs
assume
of other
bones
spiders or
would-
webs?
One at a time, please.
Sorry. Go ahead, Jake.
I'm just asking from a Zach standpoint, would Bones ascertain if there's anything of value on the wilting husk of said entity?
Probably not, right? It looks like a wild giant spider. It's not adorned with anything over
I
much.
just want to make sure there's a call up to that for him.
Sure, absolutely. Ashes? I don't actually know. Sorry. I said your name and then I went off on a tangent in my mind. I don't actually know if Bones is interested in exoskeletons, right? Or if Zach is only interested from a standpoint of like actual bones. We kind of glossed over the concept of like him harvesting the rust monster parts. I'm going to talk to him about that later. I assume it's just because he's dealing with technical issues tonight. So, but I don't know how he feels about exoskeletons or chitin, right? As kind of like a source. Yeah, right. As is that adjacent to bone, or is he only interested in bone? So I'll have that discussion with Zach between now and next week, and we'll clarify whether or not he's interested in
Does
spider
it seem
parts
like
or
it was a
rust monsters.
venomous creature?
The giant spider.
Mhm.
Would be an assumption that you could make, right? Now that that's not true for all giant spider variants. Not all of them are necessarily venomous, but some of them definitely are. And you have there's nothing at this one that would allow you to ascertain that at a glance.
I would ask politely Ashes to attempt to harvest a fang, or if there's any venom.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So-
You cut out a little bit.
You cut out a little bit. I would ask Ash. They might be venomous. If you could grab like a fang or some venom, we might be able to use that for some stuff I'm thinking about working.
Wouldn't the venom gland?
Well, I mean, if you put the right pressure on a fang, it'll dispense venom.
Sure, but I'd want to drop thing.
You're kind of cutting out a little bit, Mitch.
No, I'm not. You're cutting out.
There we
We're
go.
all cutting out. If he cuts out, we'll all cut out. It'll be anarchy.
So
That's a Breakfast Club reference.
it is. It absolutely is. All right. So there, like I said, there are these kind of clear pathways cut through the rubble of the southern room. There's this giant spider. Do you guys want to try to harvest something from this giant spider?
Yes, I want Ashes to try and harvest.
Ashes, are you interested
I
in doing
will. I will oblige. I'll get one of my empty potion bottles, which I'm pretty sure I'm amassing a pretty large collection of by now.
You're getting there. Absolutely, you're getting there. So
And,
what I would say is as you go to, let me swap over to this full, and we'll use the halvesies. So you kind of like you all move closer, kind of stand at ease while Ashes steps forward.
Movies.
Well, at ease for whatever your characters are. As Ashes kind of like steps the distance in, like Bones kind of like starts to look around curiously, right? Ashes steps over to the spider itself. And Ashes, as you kind of like go about how you would normally harvest venom from an arachnid like this, you spend a few moments trying that. You don't really get any real results. Roll a nature check for me.
Don't know why. It's because I'm not an int character.
Doesn't matter in this particular scenario. You after spending a few moments trying to get some venom out of the fangs of this spider, and then kind of like looking at the husk of it overall, you realize this thing's been here for a while. It's probably all dried out.
I'll go walk over to the thorax and I'll take the palm of my sword and just give it a punk.
And it does that kind of like paper mache, right? It just kind of like cracks and just yeah. This thing is like bone dry. It's either been here for a while, or the proximity to the cold climate, because it's still a little chilly in here, right, has helped expedite its drying out.
Hey Ezra, I think this one's a little
Or maybe not drying
ripe.
up, but freezing up.
Yeah.
Together.
Well, maybe grab a fang to go, if you can.
Oh sure. I'll walk over and without trying to do too much damage, try to.
Oh yeah. Without any
Little
real
wiggles.
issue, you can notate that you have a giant spider fang.
Giant spider fang.
Giant Piter Ang.
Piter. Oh man, if you haven't seen Batman and Piter-Man, you should Google that.
So, while you guys are kind of like watching that, you do see there is an exit to the south. And then to the north, right, there's a secondary room through a short hallway. This room is full of thick, sticky webs, crisscrossing along one another in endless spirals. Less debris covers the floor of this room, though there are the shattered remnants of a few chairs and tables. These are bound and wrapped in thick coats of webbing, creating small mounds of wood and white.
Okay. Cursory glance. Any giant spiders around?
Cursory glance, no giant spiders around. But this looks like a winter Spiderland, right?
Oh, my favorite.
It's covered in white, but not the snowy kind. There is web everywhere. There are these literal mounds of wood and web. There are webbing over the walls. They're just thick strands all over the place. This entire place is covered in web.
Looking at like the texture of the entirety of the web, does it seem like it's just like a very consistent sheet, or is there like little burrows? Like,
absolutely. Right, yeah, there are absolutely like the little tunnels burrowed through certain portions of the web, and so there are the differentiating portions. The mounds are thick white strands, right, and the walls have these thick ropey strands, and then the burrows, right, the kind of like little tunnels, have these kind of more veils of gossamer, kind of like over the ones that you could like push through or burn through without much issue. Absolutely.
Right.
There are these paths that wind through the room and into a hallway to the northeast that you could follow that are absolutely navigable, just surrounded by strands of white.
All right. So because there's a bunch of burrows, I can assume that there might not be giant spiders, but there could be.
I don't think you have to assume anything. You can see
number. There could be potentially a hopeless number of regular spiders.
There might be a hopeless number. From what you're just looking at, there isn't an infinite number of just tiny spiders, but you do see them around, right? You see them in the piles, you see them hanging across the gossamer webs, right? If someone has arachnophobia, no. But if you don't have arachnophobia, it's one of those like, this is a bunch of spiders, but not so many spiders that I'm gonna freak out, that type of thing.
We might need to come back with several bottles of Alchemist Fire, maybe. Just take like a whole belt of them and just.
I mean, couldn't we just walk around with a torch? Just light these bad boys up.
Did I keep it? I didn't keep a torch on me.
That would work if.
I don't have a crimson.
Ezra pulls out a torch and hands it over.
That would work if here's a torch. What? I'm confused.
I pull out a torch from my bag and I start helping out.
Okay.
All right.
You guys take a few moments, flint and tinder the torches.
Yeah, we're gonna burn through the.
I would imagine that the frost from the hallway might cause, like, once it finally gets into this room and work, it might condense into a liquid, make it kind of wet in here. So might not
quite
burn super great.
For whatever reason, it doesn't seem to convey a dampness into this room, right? So the gossamer portions, right, the thin portions of web, burn relatively readily, right? The thick, ropey strands of white, the mounds of wood and white, right, the walls, they don't burn so much as.
They probably just char.
They kind of do a combination of the char and like wax melting type of thing, right? And they smell just horrendous. So you guys can burn your way through the thin webbing with relatively ease, but there's still there's still big chunks, big mounds of web.
As long as it doesn't get, as long as like the webs we're going through don't become like an adhesive or sticky or whatever.
Sure.
Don't want to get caught in anything. Like
So yeah, your
anything
main
that
goal
we'd
is to
step on,
not.
I would test first, like poke it to see if like a torch would like
get you.
catch on it.
That socks.
Sack.
Got fuzzy socks. Cool. Yeah, so you realize, right, as you're kind of like doing this, as Matashtai and Nash, as you guys go about the kind of like burning of some of this thinner web, if you guys were not taking these precautions, you absolutely would be running into potential issues, right? Like if you were to just rush forward into this area, there's absolutely the chance that the webbing would gum up, right, and begin to kind of like thicken around you, catch you, bind you, that type of thing. But because you are taking these styles of precautions, you're able to burn away the portions of the web that would cling to you, and you're able to kind of like char the ends of the web that might bind you.
Okay. So I guess the $1 million question: how far does that get us into the room?
It gets you all
5 feet.
It gets you all the way in the room, right? Like this is the assumption that you guys, that again, right? This doesn't happen like I light a torch, I stick it in, the whole room goes, whew, right?
Yeah.
This is you guys taking a few minutes to light up portions of it and wait for it to burn. You step back, right? You take a moment.
I just want a real quick glance up at the ceiling, make sure there's nothing up there.
There are spiders scurrying all over the place because of the ruckus that you guys are making. But yeah, there's nothing big.
Nothing big.
Nothing big.
Nothing big.
Yeah.
All right, you said we made it to about the like middle-ish of the room.
No, I mean you guys can clear the room. Like if your goal is to clear the room, you absolutely can clear the room. Okay. Again, there is still web on the walls and mounds, right? But you can clear a path through the room without having to worry about things.
Okay. Then what do we spy at yonder hallway?
You see a hall disappearing into the north, and this is like one great long burrow, right? It's just a spiral of web, and it's every arachnophobe's nightmare, right? You see dangling threads of spiders just disappearing into the darkness.
Terrifying.
Absolutely.
This looks like a fireball situation.
What's that?
Several. Oh, I got the last hallway. Who wants this one?
All right, I'll do it.
Okay, so Matashtai goes forward, torch in hand.
Torching. I commence the torturing.
Well, I'm
Now
not
this
gonna
one is much
go
less.
on. I've got a torch. It'd be dumb for me to not help. I'll go with.
Well, Matashtai was already doing it, yeah. So you guys can absolutely help each other.
I was just making a joke, a jape. Some
So
skullduggery.
Bones comes behind you guys. He's more than willing to follow pretty quickly behind. So you guys press forward. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move you forward myself. You press forward to about this point, right, burning as you go, to where you can actually see the hallway turns, right? This kind of burrow tunnel turns to the west, right? And this before you, right? You are driving the herd in front of you, right? Just this swarm of spiders across the wall, underfoot, right, is just fleeing before you and the flames that you bring.
Until?
Yeah, until.
Not an until, right? I'm giving you guys the, like, you see a bend in the hall. Do you wish to change tactics? Do you wish to continue forward?
Shall we?
Continue with the burning of the spoders.
Okay,
Will assist.
fair enough. I'm gonna
Do I
move you
have
guys.
anything in my inventory that could?
What if you move you guys another 30 feet forward, right? And I think it's at this point, right? You guys are approaching this bend in the burrow. The multitude, the hordes, right? The countless spawnings of spiders are fleeing before you. And this isn't like you guys are like crunched down tight inside this like small winding tunnel. This is a immense like 10 by 10 hallway, right? That you guys have ample room. Now it's kind of circular, right? Because again, it's one of those weird burrows, and you're not burning the thick webs that are on the walls and the ceilings. You're just burning the light webs that you're kind of traveling through, right? So you guys get this kind of like weird, like almost like you're traveling through a tunnel in the earth, right? In the Underdark, that type of scenario. So you're not quite standing on even ground, and you're moving forward. And I think it's at this point, right? There's a chance, depending on how you handle this situation, that the situation goes differently. But I think I don't see there's any scenario that you guys are surprised in, right? And I don't think there's any scenario that the giant spiders that are here are surprised in.
You don't say.
So I think you all begin to hear, right, this skittering coming down the burrow towards you, right? You hear this.
The second I hear that, I want to reach.
No.
Okay.
No. You get no reaction. This is, you guys aren't surprised. They're not surprised. Everyone selects their tokens and rolls initiative.
Got it.
Yeah.
She's like, let me do things.
No.
That the when I asked 30 feet ago whether you guys wanted to change your tactics or not.
Well, I didn't hear skittering 30 feet
that
ago.
Exactly. You didn't hear skittering 30 feet ago. That's the point. Okay, so I think at this point, right, there's no real hiding the scenario. They're gonna come out of the woodwork at you guys. Would someone mind running bones for me?
I'll stab people.
Okay, Matashtai, you can stab people. Control of Bones' sheet has been given over to you.
Okay.
Please go ahead and roll initiative for him when you get the chance. In the meantime, I will roll initiative for some spoders. He is a swifty boy. He absolutely is swift. He's so swift, in fact, that he is the first one to react as he hears spiders. Everyone hears the coming down the tunnel towards you guys. What do you want to do?
Did he actually want in first? But get his stuff real quick. Stuff.
Yeah, it is unlikely that he wants to go first.
He might go to the corner and hide with an action to stabby stab.
That could work. Right, like go up here and then hide and try to like stab the first thing that comes into melee.
Get that sneak attack.
Can he hide with all the webbings and stuff on the
He can
sides?
try to hide, but whether or not that's actually going to be successful is to be determined.
So I'm worried we're gonna get real congested in here because those things are big.
It's entirely possible.
Is the noise only coming from?
That's only coming from the
northwest. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, he's gonna go up there and he's gonna try and hide, and gonna stab a bitch when it comes around the corner.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth check. They is pretty good. All right, very nice. Okay. It is now Spider 1 turn. Spider is gonna come down to this point. What? There. Okay, so they have 30. This spider comes to this point, and can't really do else. Kind of meshed on top of each other, but they're kind of like they're doing the like swirl around the burrow there because it's a 10 by 10, right? So they're kind of like going up and above and swirling around, and it looks weird, but trust me, it works. Ezra, you're up.
How much noise is there happening?
There's a lot of noise. Yeah, it's like a small stampede. You hear all of a sudden coming down the hallway towards you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Dear Lord, Jesus.
I am going to invoke my twin spell because fuck this noise.
Okay.
On Ashes and Matashtai, you both now are hasted.
Okay.
Woo,
Ashes
we
Matashtai.
swift boys.
Mark yourself
And
as
then I'm
hasted.
gonna start slowly walking back.
Gotcha. All right. Ashes, what is your dexterity modifier?
My dexterity modifier is 2.
Okay. All of these giant spiders go first.
Shit.
Wow.
But you have a +2 to your AC.
So this spider comes up to the corner, right? And it is on the ceiling, right? As it comes up to the corner, comes... but it is close enough for Bones to attack, so it does trigger Bones's held action if he wishes to utilize it.
Okay, he gonna stab a boy.
Okay, so he goes to stab. He does not do so with advantage. The spider seems to be completely aware of his presence.
Okay, so he does not get sneak attack then either.
He does not get sneak attack, no.
Okay. Attempt to cut, fail.
Ooh, unfortunately,
Attempt
yeah.
to cut.
Ooh, the second one does hit.
Well,
so the first one.
Does he get his bonus action attack?
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that's a bonus action attack. Never mind. So no, he does not on a held attack. So the 9 misses. The spider just kind of like shrinks out of his reach, right, as he slashes out it, and it almost immediately responds by its thorax coming out, a sticky strand of webs shooting out, and I need a DC 12 strength saving throw, or not saving throw, strength check. Oh, never mind. Sorry, this is an attack. I take it back. Yeah, so a 7 misses. So a 7 misses Bones. So that's good.
He slices the webbing in the air before it can
Slices
get to him.
the webbing in the air. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. So this thing, I think, is going to shrink back just slightly. It's still in base to base with him. But then another is going to basically rush up in its stead. Kind of in its stead. I think this one actually is going to come here now. And then this one is going to come here. That is not the correct thing. I'm gonna come here for now. I don't mind overlapping them slightly because they are kind of spiraling into this tunnel. I think I'll actually leave that one there. So these two are trying to get through the spider traffic jam. Ashes, you're up.
Ashes, seeing that shit's going down, is going to go ahead and use his Lycan transformation, and not going to be able to see the change on the token because there's a boot in the way. But
Oh no, there's a boot marking your face.
Does the wing make it better? Nope.
No, it's just gonna
no,
cover his
probably not.
face.
It's
There's
his icon
a
marking.
werewolf under there. We promise.
There's a... Yep. Alright, so that'll be a bonus action. So then he'll
Yeah, that's a
come
buff.
trolloping down the hallway, come to a stop, and go, "Oh my God, there's so many!"
There are so many. You look down this hall, and
You
there's
go
just
one step further?
this horde of spiders just clustering down the hallway, just like rushing towards you.
There's so many. Oh my God.
There's a lot of spiders.
Yeah, it's a bunch of spoders.
I could see 5. There's probably more.
Yeah.
Anyways, time to go to Hacktown.
Hacktown. Hackety.
14,
That's a hit.
21.
21 is
Fuck.
absolutely a hit. 7 damage. You squish. It's still up.
Wait. That was the sword. I meant the claw.
Oh.
Let me just roll the damage for the claw. So
Alright.
instead it's 6 instead of 7.
Sure. No big deal.
Then attack again.
Slicing through some thoraxes and
That's a
some
miss.
abdomens. That's a miss.
And then
Yeah.
my haste attack.
Haste attack. But that's a hit.
15
Absolutely.
For 10.
Nice. Ouch. Yeah, so you start
That's
to
a good
wail on this first spoder. It's still up, right? But you make some pretty deep gouges. It's gushing this this thick green ichor, right? It's making this horrendous hissing noise and clacking at you. Anything else for your turn?
That'll be in turn.
All right, spider numero. Okay, so this spider, right? As it comes out, these spiders all have a unique ability that you guys do not have. It's fun. This spider, yeah. This spider winds up the wall over the other spider, right, and further down the hallway.
Gracious.
Like up over above you guys, and it shoots down at
Oh shit.
I'm gonna roll a d3 between Ash's Bones and Matashtai, from top to bottom. Shoots at Ashes as it kind of like goes by. It shoots some webbing at Ashes, in order to attempt to. Nope, that's a huge whiff. This thick strand splatters against the wall, kind of dissipates. You see it kind of like gums up the web around it, and you realize if you get hit with this thing, oh, that's no bueno. So,
It's gonna be no buenas.
yeah, no buenas. So this giant spider is now, and actually it still has 5 feet of movement, so it's going to finish directly above you, Matashtai. And let me mark this guy real quick. This, and then it was this guy who also did his. All right, Matashtai, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out Tan Bakiri. Oh, actually, he's kind of on top of me, so I think actually I'm gonna use the katana instead.
So I mean,
And then-
he's above you, right? But there's enough space for you to freely do whatever you want. I just want to make that clear. Like, he's not like crowding you necessarily. It's just that he's in the space above you.
Okay. Well, now I'm a Tan Bakiri. I'm just gonna stab up into his abdomen.
Sure.
So there's attack 1.
That's a hit. Absolutely.
Attack 2.
Nice.
Ooh, that's also a hit.
Attack 3.
So that's your bonus action attack.
And then I'm gonna punch him.
Wait. You get 3 regular attacks?
Haste.
Haste.
Okay, you got. So the third attack is the haste attack,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So the third attack kills it, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
so the third attack.
So that's why you missed.
So yeah, so you're up there, right? And you have this supernatural speed where you're just like, oh shit, there's this massive spider above me. Right? You just
Kill
like
it.
instinctively stab, and then you're like as time kind of like catches up to you, you're like, I'm going, and then the thing just kind of it clatters, like it dies, and falls down on you, right? Like you have to like jump back, and that's like why your last strike misses, right? You know, you're like, oh shit, right? As you're kind of like, oh fuck, this thing falls down on you, right? And you're kind of like taken aback. So there is now this giant spider corpse in your area. It does count as difficult terrain because it is enough of the kind of like the tunnel, right? The whirring of the tunnel traps you in here, so you have to kind of scrabble over this spider corpse to get anywhere else. Okay, but you still have your movement. And for flavor, by the way, you still have your bonus action attack if you want to use. You don't have to use the 9 on a target that wasn't alive.
No, I'm gonna take a step back and kind of hold Tom McCurry at the ready in case any others try to crawl across the wall back towards Ezrah.
Okay, gotcha. Fantastic. Bones is up then.
Mitch?
Which is you.
Oh, sorry.
Mitch.
Yeah, that's me. He gonna try and slash at this man.
Okay,
He
sure.
slashed.
You slashed? Yep, that's a
And
hit.
you get sneak attack.
You get sneak attack because you have an ally adjacent.
Snicker snack.
And that is enough to kill this spider. So again, this spider comes clattering down, right? I don't remember if this was on the ceiling or not. But regardless, this one now is this. It dies, right? It tumbles. It hits the wall. It crumples, and then it does the like kind of like constricting, like winding itself up around its own corpse. But it is this big corpse that is now in the way, kind of like providing this blockage in the tunnel, at least on ground level.
Is that normal, Jeremy, behind you?
What are you doing up there, Lippo? You wild kitty.
Is that normal?
Yeah, she gets up there every once in a while.
Okay. I was about to say, because that falls over, you're going to be mad.
No, I don't think... I mean, if she knocks that over, I will be quite impressed.
Yeah, I guess that is like a 5-pound cat.
Yeah. Oh, if she's lucky. Like, if she's sopping wet. Right?
Yeah.
Lippo is a tiny kitty. Okay, so anything else for Bones? Mitch?
No, that's all he's got.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna get all up in there.
Sounds good. I think next Spiderino basically just comes forward. And they are all about their webbing, so... Ashes! 15. That's a miss. Another strand of web.
DC too.
Yeah, another strand goes your way, and you are able to again easily dodge out of the way without any issue. This spider is now upside down on the wall. Ezra, you see a spider peeking around the corners, firing off strands of web at Ashes. What do you want to do?
Ashes. We might be able to get some venom now. Yeah, so just as a heads up, keep that in mind. Keep doing what you're doing though. You're doing great, buddy.
Chill touch. That's a hit. All right. So skeletal hands rake across the giant spider. It is harmed. Anything else for your turn?
I am going to take another 2 steps back.
Okay. Sounds good.
What is the status that you're under, Ezra?
I am holding my concentration.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Cool. All right. Spider comes forward. It launches more web. The only person it can see is... Hey, you.
Hi.
Both of you. Y'all calm down. Y'all chasing each other right now. Web at... Not gonna happen. Next person up is Ashes again.
Lucky.
And again, another strand of web shoots at you. Not gonna happen. So each of these, let me mark them real quick. Each of these has attempted to web you and been unsuccessful. And Ashes, you're up.
Unwebbable.
All right.
Unwebbable.
Unwebbable.
Stay alive, Kelly.
Bonus action.
It's a miracle.
He's gonna send crimson power through his his arms and take 3 damage.
Okay.
And his claws will now pulse with coldly power.
Coldly
Arctic.
power?
Coldly.
Arctic
Cold.
power.
Cold.
Right
Cold.
up the frozen.
Cold.
Has been
Coldy.
cast upon.
Okay. Taking a number from the room you just came from.
Right, pretty much. And seeing that that maybe expedited their
Sure.
dying. Not that this is actually going to do anything here, but it's just. Whatever. Anyways, attack time.
Jesus. You bad
18.
girl. That's a hit.
Yeah, you bad girl.
Bad girl. Lippo just
Categories.
knocked over the water bowl. Because she is running like crazy. Bad girl. That so 7 and 1, it's still alive.
That rolled for so long.
That 8 is a miss.
Okay, and
And the 16 is a hit.
so damage.
Another 8 damage
Man, I've
is
really gotta...
just enough to kill this spider, who falls down on the first spider that is here, right? And is now creating a bit more of an actual traffic jam, right? Now there's 2 giant spiders on top of each other, and now it's kind of questionable whether or not the giant spiders themselves are going to be able to get through easily. So,
Good thing you have double movement, so you can just.
well,
cruise
you know.
past.
Hey. So, anything else for you, Ashes?
And
One more
turn.
attack.
In turn. Your ending turn?
You're not gonna get your other attack.
What? That was all 3 attacks. I used my
Next
bonus
step.
for right.
Ah,
Oh,
there you go.
gotcha.
Yep.
So I
Okay.
get extra attack.
Matashtai.
Attack.
Yay, new
And
skills.
right.
Matashtai. What are you up to?
Coolio.
You see Ashes is there at the front of the corner, right? Just like constantly hacking. You see these like great gouts of web shoot past him and impact the wall behind him, and he just keeps fighting onwards, right? Just hacking and slashing. Oh, okay. So you run up to the corner. As you try to push your way, each of these squares.
I don't push. I step lightly upon their bodies.
Each of these squares because there are 2 large giant spiders here. This is going to be counted as difficult terrain. So each of these will cost you 10 feet instead of 5 feet. I think you're still going to make it
100
anyways.
feet of movement.
Yeah,
I got
I
a
think
lot of
you're
movement.
fine. I just want you to be aware, and then vicariously everyone else to be aware, right?
Yep, I was counting it.
I don't want to at a later date be like, oh well, you're moving through, and you'd be like, wait, you never said that.
Commence the stabbering.
Stabbing. Stab 'em.
So, like, because of these tight quarters, the spear's not flowing around like it normally does. It's just like utilitarian. Stab, 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 stab.
Gotcha.
This
Very-
is the
very nice.
shield wall.
Yep.
The shield wall with no shield. my
I am
arm.
the shield.
I am the shield. 18,
Wow.
22, 18. All 3 hit easily.
Good gracious, that's
And
damage.
it takes
29.
all of that to kill this spider. So, another spider comes clattering down, filling the tunnel in front of you.
Another bite to dust.
Then continue forward through its dead
Just
body.
keep moving forward. All right. Anything else for your turn?
And I punch.
Ooh, you punch.
bonus
Okay.
action.
Sure, absolutely. That's a hit. That is 7 more damage to the spider. Okay, anything else?
Nope, that'll be it.
Alright, so Bones is up, and Bones kind of like peeking around the corner, watches as Matashtai charges over the corpses of the fallen spiders, kills another spider, charges over the corpse of that one, and begins to pummel a final spider. What does Bones want to do?
Bones crouches down, cat-like, preparing, using feline agility, explodes in immaculate speed, dashing around the corner,
Okay.
catching up to
10,
Matt.
20, 30, 40, easily able to cover the distance.
And then as he rushes forward, he draws his scimitar and slashes across the Spoder's legs.
Very nice. Okay.
14 hit.
just hits. These spiders have 14 AC. And
25 damage.
And with the sneak attack of the shot, the inside track provided by his ally, right? Bones is able to step in, like past, right? Like you have the kind of like big forelegs of the spider. They have a specific name. I don't remember what they're called, right? But the two front legs of the spider are kind of like lashing out, and then it's like lunging forward with its mandibles and everything like that. Bones is able to kind of like step inside those two front legs and just stab up into the mouth of the final spider, and in a heartbeat, it's done. And we find ourselves.
Right.
You guys are all kind of like coming off the high of battle in this burrow tunnel, this webbed tunnel, and now it's filled with spider corpses. And all of a sudden, Matashtai and Ashes both do this kind of like, oh,
Oh god. Oh fuck.
oh.
I imagine while we're under effect, it looks like everybody just took like slow-mo from Dread.
Sure.
But yeah,
Oh, it feels great when it's happening,
yeah,
but it's
super-
awful afterwards.
It's
10 out
awful.
of 10 would do again.
Ezra, we need to talk to you about the coming down.
Can we get the non-side effect version?
Oh god, could you stop talking so loud? Just
You stop talking so loud.
All right, everyone.
Ashes.
Oh god, Ezra!
oh god.
Venom, please.
Okay. Oh fuck.
Everyone can add to their character sheets. You can add 300 experience for the
And maybe a couple more
Spider
fangs, too.
Warrens. I'm adding it to Bones right now.
But once Ashes is in a position where he knows he could handle spider fangs without
Roll me
poisoning himself.
if you would like to try to harvest some of these spider fangs. Are you just after one, or you want to try to harvest some glands, or are you
as
after
much as Ezra is interested in having as well?
Ezra?
like,
How much are you interested in?
all of it.
Are you interested in the fangs, or are you interested in the venom glands?
Yes.
Okay. Ashes, roll me 5 nature checks.
And
Okay. You are able to harvest intact 3 of the venom glands of the giant spiders. So whoever is going to be carrying that can notate 3 giant spider venom glands. The fangs themselves, you can harvest 10 of those in various states of kind of like professionalism, right? Because none of you are necessarily like I guess Bones would be
for weight.
Yeah, so Bones would be the most un momento. Bones would be the most akin to like a monster hunter, aside from I guess like Ashes, right? But Ashes, you're a hunter, but you're not like a monster part collector, right? Type thing.
Right.
So like you can harvest the 10 fangs, but you're not sure what you're gonna do with them.
Your skills with field dressing need some improvement.
says the sorcerer that stands there and watches you do it.
Yep.
So the venom glands themselves will probably be about 2 pounds each.
Okay.
It's there's not that much venom in them comparatively, right? But the glands themselves are weighty pieces of flesh. They're weighty organs, right? And the fangs are minuscule. I mean, they're maybe like
Half a pound for the 10.
I was gonna say a pound for all 10. But, I mean, they're still big fangs, but they're not. You know, they probably wouldn't even be a pound, but a pound's not gonna harm someone to carry them.
I'm all right.
Yeah. So 10
Nice.
10 giant spider fangs at a pound in total. 3 giant spider venom glands at 2 pounds apiece. You guys go about the harvesting of these for. I mean, this is not a quick process. I will say that, right? This takes 15, 20 minutes to cut into each of these spiders and go about your business.
Does that make our tension go up?
It's on that kind of cusp, right? I'm gonna rule in this particular situation that I'm not overly worried about it, but there are definitely the times that it might cause your tension to go up. What I would say in this area is you just killed the main predators of this area, you know? So the concept that your tension goes up accordingly is probably unlikely. If you were taking this amount of time in a different area, right, then it's entirely possible that your tension would raise. So,
Well, boys, get used to that tension rising quick.
that being said, is there anything else you guys wish to do with the corpses, or are you gonna explore further into this area?
More exploring, please.
Lauren. Okay, so
We're probably getting to the point soon where we want to start thinking about heading.
yeah, that's true. You guys do kind of come up to this area, right? And we'll cover these rooms in turn real quick. To the north, you find a relatively open expanse, right? This room to the north. It is covered in sticky web, right? There are gossamer filaments and strands, but there aren't as many tiny spiders that seem to have fled in this particular direction, right? What there is a numerous amount of dried husks, desiccated corpses, right? That kind of litter the floor here. It seems as though this may have been the giant spiders den. To the south lies a little bit of a different view. To the south, you find dense webbing that fills the room, and suspended within the webs are 6 cocoons. Cocoons that are moving ever so slightly.
Did you say on the south or
the south room? The southern room, yeah.
Okay.
The northern room looks like it was the actual spider's den. The southern room seems to be maybe like a food storage or something.
I'll run over to the first moving one and try to cut it open.
How big are they?
So they're all humanoid size, right?
Uh-oh.
The first cocoon that you cut open, Matashtai, right, collapses into a horrendous mass of flesh and liquid.
Ew.
And you realize like it's kind of moving, right? But it's more like moving with the pulse of like a heartbeat type thing. rather than like a
Ugh.
squirming, and you realize what you have just cut into, the venom of the spiders has fully liquefied or close to it, right? There's these kind of like big chunks in the liquid that are still a
That's
little
gross, Jeremy. Y'all
whole.
mean Jesus.
You're cutting the giant spider cocoons. So that's the first cocoon. There are 5 more.
All right, I put my scarf over my face.
Oh
Keep
god.
going through 'em.
Oh no.
Oh no.
no.
Matashtai is like determined here. Okay.
All right, if there's anyone live here, gotta find them.
The second one is pretty much the same as the first. The third one is a human man.
Is he alive?
He is definitely dead.
Oh.
His body though is not quite yet liquefied. It's in a mostly
I
fresh
grit my teeth and
state,
set him off to the side.
right? The fourth, right, you cut into, and again, it's just that liquefied mass, right? It's just this disgusting, just splatters at your feet. It's horrendous. The fifth is another person. This one
Is this one alive?
is also dead.
Damn it.
Is
Set him aside too.
you take a moment though, like in trying to try to figure out if this individual is dead or not, right? This again looks to be kind of like a human man, maybe. This one is a little more along the process than number 3 was, right? You hadn't really had anything to compare number 3 to yet. You realize number 3 must be much more fresh because this one's skin is perfectly fine, but like his eyes and his nostrils, right, have liquefied. Like so you cut him open and it's just the puddles of ooze out of his eyes, but his flesh is still completely intact. Whereas number 3, his eyes are intact, so he must be much more fresh, right?
I like how we just raided these spiders like pantry.
Yep. And then so you keep going, right?
After murdering them.
Killed them and took
Grocery
their
shopping
food.
to them.
Sure. Number 6, right? So number 6, you cut into, and as you cut into this mass of web, thousands
Did you cut out for me?
of tiny spiders spring
What the
forth.
fuck?
You just found the net.
As you realize that this is not a food web, this is a
hatchery.
hatching web. So I need
Good,
everyone
good.
to go ahead and roll their tokens for initiative real quick. And more importantly, I think everyone else is not necessarily involved in this instance, so they are surprised. I need Matashtai to roll a perception check for me. And we're
Okay.
going to see if he versus the swarm of spiders, which one of them realizes what is going to happen first. So Matashtai is at a 19. I think that probably means yeah. So Matashtai, you are not surprised as you carve into this thing. I mean, you're surprised, right? You're like, oh God, no, right? But you're not caught off guard, right? Your guard is still up. You're still able to enact in the initial round of combat, where I think
Okay.
everyone else is not. So we're gonna flip over to this real quick. Swarm of spiders. You have the higher initiative. Go ahead and
Surprising.
yeah. What? So you see just this burst of spiders come swarming out of this cocoon. What do you want to do?
Do I still have my torch?
Ooh.
I dropped mine. Mine's back in the hallway unless someone picked it up.
Were any easy answer. Were any of the attacks you made with your spear, did any of them count as two-handed?
Yes.
Then you dropped your torch.
Would I have picked it back up after?
I would say it probably dwindled. So at that point, you didn't really have a. It probably like
prestidigitation.
I would say probably not. Right? You didn't think about it in the moment. So we're gonna continue on. You had your drift globe at the ready, and there wasn't any web blocking your way, so you didn't pick your torch back up.
Okay. Bummer. I wanted to breathe fire on the spiders.
Oh shit! Can you do that? Can you breathe fire?
I mean, I was gonna put some oil in my mouth.
Oh, okay.
To...
I get you. I was like, holy shit! Is that a monk ability? Fuck.
Accidentally, you're gonna crit fail and then accidentally light your face.
That's one of those like
probably.
drunken master monk abilities.
But I don't think I can action economy that, so I'm just gonna start fucking stepping on spiders.
Just start wailing, right? You do the oh shit! Crunch, 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 crunch.
Yep, because I'm gonna assume that using the weapon's pointless. I'm just gonna start crunching.
Sure. Okay, so a 10 is a miss, a 17 and a 24 hits though.
I'm actually gonna flurry of blows and kill the fucking spiders because I'm in a panic. No, I missed!
At 11, their AC is 12. You just miss.
No!
You just miss. Absolutely. Here's the thing, though, right? Your unarmed strikes are magical?
Yeah.
Oh, hold up, though. It fun things about swarms. It doesn't care if it's magical or not. It has resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Doesn't matter if it's magical or not. So, let me adjust that real quick.
Well, shit. I used bludgeoning because I thought that would have a better effect.
Well, because it's just because it's a swarm. It's not a creature, right? It's a swarm of creatures. So you can bludgeon and slash and smash it all you want, but it's not gonna because it's not one cohesive form. So
I'm not arguing that, but I would say I would think bludgeoning would have a better effect.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Honestly, I would. I
completely agree.
You're unable to quite dissipate this swarm of spiders, and they explode out of the cocoon out at you, right? And just kind of swirl over you. Literally like it's if any of you guys have ever seen a video of like spiders actually hatching and like putting the little
No, why would I watch that?
The little web up into the wind, and then
You've
like
never been curious.
The swarms of spiders like floating through the air. That's basically what they do to Matashtai in this moment. Like they all just like strands out, bitches, and fly at his face. So we get to do.
That sounds fucking horrific.
Because they still have more than half of their total form, their total mass. There's still more than half of them left. They get to make their bite with their stronger version rather than their weaker version. So,
how about no?
Bite. Ooh, that's a miss. Oh, wait, no. They only get one bite.
Oh, thank God, because that other one would have hit.
They only get one bite. So you do get, let's be honest, right? You get bit, right, by a number of these tiny spiders, but not enough of a mass, right? They're young baby spiders. They're barely piercing your skin, and there's not enough of them actually injecting venom into your flesh for it to really matter. Right? There's not enough of them biting on you for it to hurt overly much. There's not enough of them biting vital portions like your eyes or your mouth, right? They're not going up into your nostrils or down your ear canals or anything like that. You're able to ward them off to the point to where they don't inflict serious damage to you.
I flex the poison out of my skin with my amazing monkness.
And then we whirl back. Before we come back to the actual first round, we didn't roll for bones. Go ahead and roll for bones real quick.
Oh, got it. I was hoping I would kill these before anyone else had to go.
I thought you were going to, honestly. It came close, but then I realized that
Bones is fucking ready to kill some spoders.
He's super fast. Bones, what is Bones doing?
Meow.
Meow. So Bones comes just dashing into the room, responding to your freaking cries of panic.
Oh god!
Right? Oh!
Bones has the perfect weapon for this.
Oh.
Wait, does he not get it? Oh, he doesn't get to use Dex on it. Never mind, he does not use that weapon. He commenced the slashing at the swarm.
He starts to slashing. A 14 hits. So that is.
Can he sneakily attack this swarm?
You know, that's a good question. I'm gonna rule no. A swarm of spiders is a massive body. It doesn't care about your sneak attack in any way, shape, form, fashion. And let's be honest, the only reason I'm gonna rule that way is because Zach's not here to argue the point. So
I mean, I brought it up because I didn't think it made sense for it to work.
And that's fair.
How are you finding the sneaky location to stab this fucking million spiders?
But he does come in, right, and he starts to slash and hack and stomp and squish on many of the spiders. The swarm itself seems to be dissipating, but is not quite gone. So Matashtai.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm pissed. I continue stomping.
Keep stomping.
Stomp.
Stomp, stomp, stomp. 19 and a 21 hit. What is that? 16, 8. All right, so just barely with 8 damage, you are able to kill off you don't kill every single spider out of the swarm, but you are able to kill off enough of the swarm that the remaining either crawl away, skitter away, right, fly away. They disperse to the point to where that they are no longer a threat. Nobody likes spiders. Why are they? Oh, goodness gracious! Why are they in?
I was good until you talked about them going up the nose canals and ear canals.
But that's the horror of it, right? Let's be real. If you get covered in 1,000 tiny spiders, what's the most terrifying portion of it? Getting bitten
all of it
the entire time,
them
or them
inside
entering your body?
Them penetrating you.
Any orifice, doesn't matter which one. Always.
I'm saying, that's the scary part. That's the fucking scary part. Okay, so after Matashtai spends a few moments kind of like cutting into these webs and trying to kind of like figure out what's going on, right? Getting surprised by the swarm of spiders. There's a moment, right, where you all realize, oh god, this is kind of like you're in a bit of a hellscape right now. Like
I stomp back to fucking ashes and like, hey, fucking what I keep trying.
like you.
By the way, there's not any more moving things, right?
Yeah, there are no more kind of like pulsing or moving cocoons. Unfortunately, there was no one.
Like, oh, there's one more. What do you do?
There was no one left to. You're right. I should have done that on the 5th cocoon, and then said, "There's one more" when it's all done. That's DM tips for the next time, guys. DM tips for the next time you ever run into this situation.
Make a note.
So, but I think there's this moment, right, where the party realizes, you look around yourselves, you're in this web-wrapped den, this horror-scape of a different, like an alien mindset, right? Giant spiders are natural creatures by Forgotten Realms standards, right? But it's kind of like, I don't know, it's maybe like the scenario of like Alaskan frontiersmen like putting their young children down wolf holes to kill wolf cubs, right? It's that concept of like putting yourself in the shoes, in the skin of that child, that young person, and imagining what's going through their head. You guys are in this space, right? You're in this space where there's just tightness around you, and there's potential threat at every corner, and it's just like all of a sudden, after the swarm of spiders, it hits you guys. It's like, oh God, why are we here? Like, not here in the dungeon, but specifically like here in this exact location.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awful.
So what do you guys want to do?
Let's just poke our head up here and fucking leave.
So to
All
the
right,
north,
is there anything? Is there like
you
a
find
treasure chest covered in spider webs?
no,
Oh,
you
that'd be
just
super cool.
you just find death and dried husks. And
Any pulsating cocoons?
no, sirs.
Are you sure, DM?
Absolutely.
There's not at least one?
Nope. There's not. I lied. There is a 10 by 10 pulsing cocoon in the back. You have found spiders in a jiva.
Spiders in a G-Bug. Wow, that's amazing.
I'm
Wait,
scared.
wouldn't that just be Shara?
I don't know. Maybe. No, this is the den of the spiders to the north, right?
Alright.
And it's mostly
Well,
clean.
This was a little bit traumatic. What do you guys say we take a break, head up top for a bit?
Yeah, if that's what you guys want to do. I mean, there are some doors we could kick open.
I was gonna
on our
say,
way
do you
back.
guys want to have this conversation while you're heading back the way you came?
Yeah.
We're getting out.
Transport you back, at least transport you back to this point, right? You guys, where you found the first giant spider before you headed into the room to the north, right, where all the webbing was. So this, you come back to this kind of a intersection before the cold hallway, right? There's still the room to the south. There's still the hall going back north where Ashes had seen the dwarven rune. And then there's the way that you guys had come. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I guess we start. Do you at least want to go back to where there were doors that we passed? Or do we just want to say fuck it and go topside?
Yeah, I guess we're pretty healthy. We could check out another door if you want.
Like, as far as resources go, I'm pretty fucking good to go.
I'm low on key points, but
Bones say Bones doesn't have resources to spend, and he has full hit points. He would say he'd like to. I think Zach would say he'd like to go back sooner rather than later, but right now he's okay to do something.
Ezra's almost entirely spent, so he's starting to look a little.
He's got health. Health is a resource, Jake.
yeah, you can throw your body in front to protect us who can still damage.
My 1 hit point.
Your 1 hit point. Come on now.
You have 2.
Yeah.
Let's get it right. I have 3.
He has double 3s. He's fine.
Double 3s.
Yeah.
You're only 8 HP behind me.
He's fine.
You also have a what for an AC?
Like 2.
2. Just 2.
With mage armor, I have a 14.
That's...
I only have 3 more AC than you.
Welcome to Wizard. Except for high level
what?
Wizard.
Wait, what?
Welcome to Wizards.
I mean,
Welcome, Jake, to Wizards. The only real caster class. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the only one worth any salt.
I mean, as far as AC is concerned, you're basically the same as a wizard. Like,
yeah, I know.
unless you're a dragonborn sorcerer, I think. Don't dragonborn sorcerers get some sort of armor thing?
No, not Dragonborn, the Dragon Blood one.
Ah, well,
Like
yeah,
the ancestral
that's what I
blood.
meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, draconic sorcerers. I apologize, not dragonborn sorcerers. I guess I don't know that I've ever seen anyone play a dragon bloodline sorcerer without it actually being a dragonborn.
Perrin was.
Yeah,
Oh, was he?
And,
Oh, okay, there we
Yeah.
go. Never mind.
and
take
the
it
one
back.
from Critical Role. What's her? Mark Hume's character.
Oh, I guess that's fair. Wait, but he was like, what was he? He was half human?
Black.
Well, he was half dragonborn. That basically
No,
counts.
that was his ancestry coming out.
Yeah,
That was him.
same difference.
Oh, Jeremy.
You're like, it's not a black dragonborn. It kinda is.
No.
What? Anyways, what do you guys want to do?
We find ourselves in a really sticky situation. It's not I can. I didn't mean that one, but it works. There's not going to be a whole lot I can do to help. So we may want to, if we want to do a little bit more exploring. And Ezra, while he's talking, kind of keeps looking at his skeletal hands. I guess if we make our way back, we can look at stuff, but yeah.
If that's what people want to do.
I mean, Bones will say, "I'm good for one more room," right? And Bones will say it in the concept like he says it in the style of, "I'm good for one more room until I'm not good for one more room," right? It's that concept of like, I'm good to go for one more room. I understand like we're pressing that edge of danger, but I feel comfortable doing one more room until we get hurt, and then we should probably get the fuck out.
All right, let's check one more room.
All right.
Which room are we going to check?
Yeah. What do you guys want to do?
I think there's a.
'Cause there's a lot of rooms on our way back.
I think there's a door back near where we came over the wall.
There were 3.
Yeah, there were three doors back the way you guys came. There's the door to the south here.
Yeah,
There's the 3
4,
back the
yeah.
way that you came. There's if you guys want to check out the ice room to the north, you could do that. Or there's the hallway eastward of the rust monsters.
Well, let's go east.
Okay. You want to go east of the rust monsters?
Yeah, what do you guys think of that?
Sounds good.
Okay. You begin to travel down this eastward
Bones
tunnel.
go sneaky sneak.
Yeah, he sneak snacks away ahead.
Okay. So he comes to a corner, doesn't hear anything, kind of waves you guys forward. It turns south and then turns eastward again. He comes to the next corner. And I assume he kind of like waits for everyone to come up to the next section before he kind of like waves, right?
I would say he stays ahead of Matt's light.
Sure. As far as like until he like reaches a corner, that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can cut through this relatively quickly. You guys go ahead and just keep walking down this hallway. And what you will find is eventually, right, the hallway winds further and further down this relatively unmarked passage. There are kind of just the basic decorations lining the halls. No frescoes or anything like that. Just like dwarven, the kind of like stamps, right? The I guess probably what Bones is the one who speaks Dwarven, right? Kind of what Bones would describe as kind of like the runes of house and home, right? There are runes that kind of like stamp every 10 or so feet, but they're just basic like decor, right? They don't have any real significance. They're just, this hallway looks bland. Let's put something in here, eh? Right? Type stuff. Like it's legit, right? Like not every hall that the dwarves made is some horribly significant thing. This is just a long hallway that they needed to build, and it had to lead somewhere, so they spruced it up a bit. But you guys continue going down, and what you will eventually find is it winds northward and then eastward. And then northward again, and then eastward again, and you realize you've traveled hundreds of feet, right? Just in the quiet, echoing
really
darkness,
going to that?
all the way down to the point to where you reach a hallway leading southward that, if Bones scouts, right, he will find a familiar open area where you guys battled an undead beholder and a berserker, and you find the Deadeye's watchpost, right? So this long, incredibly long hall, right, just connects these two, what you had previously envisioned as separate portions of the dungeon, right? Because you guys got to the Deadeye's watchpost one way, and then you got to the kind of like aberration wing of the arcane chambers. You got to that by going down the mine shaft, right? So now you know you can get back to that section by going a different way if you so choose. That the two are actually connected by a long hall that kind of surrounds the inner portion of that area.
Good to know.
So that being said, though, like you guys, you go about this slowly, right? Because you guys aren't rushing down the hall. You're not sprinting or anything like that. There's the slow creep of Bones trying to check everything out. Quiet waving of. So this is probably like 45 minutes later, right? 30, 45 minutes later, coming down this hall as you guys kind of like take your time, you dot your I's, cross your T's, and then you realize, oh, this just connects everything. Okay. You guys want to go somewhere else now?
Does this count as one room?
We're at an easy place to go back at this point.
Pretty easy to go back at this point. I think Bones probably, right? Bones was a little gung-ho to be like, yeah, sure, one more room. But I think after this, Bones would probably be like, yeah, I mean, fuck it. Why not just go back at this point?
All right, we go back.
We head back.
Okay. So,
We end the expedition.
So if you guys choose to end the expedition, what we'll do, right? No need for people to actually move themselves. What we'll do is we'll do the fast travel option. Select you guys all together in a bunch real quick. And you guys, the goal is to fast travel to the top, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
So I don't think we have anything we need to stop for on the way.
You guys can fast
Well, I mean,
travel.
Ashes would keep an eye out for any were-rats in the floor above.
So
As the favor that we're doing for that drow.
Absolutely. So I think you fast travel to the dwarf to the goblin market without issue, right? Okay. and that ticks up your tension pool. Okay, because fast traveling ticks up your tension pool. And then I think after that, it's assuming that you guys don't have any real business. You maybe make, have a few conversations. Maybe Bones stops in with Tibble and Groin to see what's up, that type of situation. Then you guys make your way to the first floor, or to the staircase leading up to the first floor. Okay, transitioning zones increases the tension pool.
Okay.
Because that's basically fast travel. So, you guys go up to the first level of the dungeon. And I think what happens, right, because we don't have to do instant situations of, oh, this happened, we're immediately the tension pool hit 6. We're immediately out of scenario. Actually, I take that back. I am going to immediately roll 66, and we're going to see what I get. So we definitely have some triggers for the tension pool. All right. So. But I get to choose what happens and what those triggers occur as. So what I'm going to say is as you guys are making your way up
Downtown.
to or through the second floor, or the first floor, right? I take it back. Sorry, the first floor, right? You get to this point again, right past the map room, past the hole in the ground where Halithgark had kind of fallen in, or not fallen in, been pushed in, right? You make your way to that section, where the clean hallway, right, lets out, right, where the gelatinous cube hallway lets out. And again, ashes, right? You feel that ping on your medallion. Your medallion's humming, right?
Okay.
You get that scenario. To the north, right, where you had previously felt the presence of a were on your expedition down here. Remember?
I remember.
Okay, so you feel that hum again. So what do you want to do?
Guys, I got a beat on that where we're at. He could lead us to that mage dude we're looking for that has the key for our drow friend.
All right.
What was
Let's
it?
check it out.
The wizard that you were looking for on the second floor, though? Wasn't it a wizard that was associating himself with lycanthropic entities on the second level?
Right, I think.
Because when you mentioned this guy, he said, "Oh yeah, that happens, but that's not who I want." I mean, if you want to deal with it, because that's your thing, that's your thing. But I don't think the spider guy cares about this person.
Well, we know that this wizard is using lycanthropes for something. So I'm gonna try to. I'd say stealthily, but I know I'm not gonna make any
Roll a stealth
check.
Roll a stealth check. See how this turns out.
I don't wanna. Wait, I'm sorry. That was not at disadvantage.
Yep. Show you.
Once again.
Nailed
Ooh.
it.
All right.
17.
When
All right.
it
Then.
comes down to it, you're ready.
Sure.
I just got to be negative about it.
Gotta be a negative Nancy.
Okay.
So I think what happens again, right, is we have another scenario, right? You come forward. I think the whole party generally comes forward, but Ashes is kind of like leading the way. You come up to this corner, and Ashes, again, you see a number of giant rats, one of which is making a big kind of like ping from your medallion, right? Is indicating that they are a wear of some sort, right? As your medallion does. And I think at this instance, right, you're able to sneak up to this point on them, but you're not able to sneak up further, right? Matashtai's combination of Matashtai's light and the fact that you can be as quiet as you want to be, you're not going to be like silent. It's at this point that they become aware of you and they immediately scamper, right? They run. What do you want to do in response to that happening?
I tackled the source of the ping.
Okay, so I want
ignore all other creatures. Just
I
the ping.
want you and I want the source of the ping to roll initiative for me.
Okay.
Because it's basically going to boil down. Yeah. Because everyone else is kind of like, ooh, responding to Ash's scenario, right?
Ashes ain't messing around this time.
Neither is this.
Dead God, are you
where
kidding me? Are you kidding me?
So you guys are kind of like all acting on Ashes' lead. So Ashes comes whirling around the corner. You all kind of like chase after, right? He goes to try to like charge and jump on this were-rat. The other rats scatter, right? They're fucking out of here like in an instant. And this one bolts just supersonic speed, bursts away like inhumanly quickly, right? Is able to just scamper away from you, Ashes. And in that moment, right, you're just like, Argh! You feel that kind of like frustration, that anger where you just, Argh! Every time on a... It's like every time you do a hunt, it's something has to go wrong.
Accurate.
And like, so you're standing there, right? There's this moment where you're standing there. And you're all like, you realize you're in the remnants of this ruined watch post, a place where you basically killed a bunch of goblins, right? And Ashes and Ezrah, as you're both kind of like standing there around the corpses of the carrion crawlers, right, that had been killed by the other adventuring party, and Ashes, you're kind of like kicking yourself. You both like, you both hear this kind of like, shh, shh, shh. And you kind of both like simultaneously turn and look in the same direction, and you both look north, and you see on this northern section of the wall, just before the curve that goes all the way around, you see this shimmering outline of a doorway, as the blessing bestowed upon you by the Keeper of Secrets, Dumathoin, activates, and you see the secret door clear as day that was once hidden from you.
What the fuck?
Oh shit. Just when you thought the floor was complete, it was not.
Hey guys, you see that? That wasn't there before.
Yeah, Matashtai and Bones could like both look over, and it's just the fucking wall that Ashes and Ezrah are both staring at, right? There's nothing there. And I think I think that moment, right, that like, oh shit moment is where we will pick back up next week.
Sounds
Damn it.
good.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed. We had a couple of technical difficulties between Streamlabs again being fuckety and Zach just having some issues being out of town. But either way, I had fun tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. And
Yeah.
I think I'm really looking, because I've been talking to some of you guys about some downtime activities. Really looking forward to some of those. But also, you guys just found a secret. So I'm interested in seeing how that plays out. So we'll see what happens next time on Out of the Abyss on Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Crossing streams, guys. Crossing streams.
You never cross
Okay.
streams.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.